Hello everybody, this is the iFind channel here. Over here is a hotel. I'm currently in Prague now. This is my 9th time here in my life. I'm not even joking. Over here is residence table and this is what the room looks like. Quite rudimentary, but also space efficient. As you guys can see, a twin bed, which is definitely better than the single bed they advertise. But as you guys can see, yes, just a desk. And you could also find a restroom as well. So I'm just gonna take a shower and I'm gonna sleep. And the reason why I was here so often was not only because the city itself is very beautiful with all of the Gothic style as well as Baroque style buildings, but also the fact my father used to live here in the 1970s. He was born in Hanoi in like 1950 and during communism, like in the late 60s, early 70s, because he was a top student. He studied in the Soviet Union, specifically Moscow, for a medical degree. And then he settled here in the Czech Republic, where he studied for a public health degree before returning to Vietnam in 1976. And yes, I was born in the early 2000s. That would make me in my early to mid 20s, but I have visited Prague like 9 times in that much years. Okay guys, I just woke up and due to the fact that my hotel does offer free breakfast, therefore I'm taking advantage of their free breakfast and I'm currently eating here. After 2 hours of rest, I'm finally outside and over here is the Ford Edge. As you guys can see, Ford does not sell the Ford Edge anywhere in the Czech Republic, but I actually saw a similar Ford Edge 3 years ago. Let me show you guys. Okay guys, as you guys can see, this Ford Edge does have a British Columbia plate. I'm not even joking. And the funny thing is, Dr. Muir actually saw this exact same car just a month later. Okay guys, I'm currently in the center of Prague now, in the old town, and this exemplifies it all. As you guys can see, the architecture is quite opulent. And that's the reason why I visit this city like so often. But over here is the Palladium Mall. As you guys can see, I'm not sure if this is really the mall or if this is just something. Okay guys, I found the correct entrance for Palladium over here. I'm very sorry, I accidentally entered an office, but as you guys can see, this mall is quite opulent. Yeah, I do think one of the most premium malls in all of Prague. Okay guys, this mall opened in 2007. It includes 170 shops, 30 restaurants, and guess how big it is? 39,000 square meters. Not as big as say the Natick Mall or even the Cambridge side, but still it is quite big. And there is another mall adjacent to the Palladium. And fun fact about the Palladium, not only is there a mall, there's also an office, just like I show you guys, which is 19,500 square meters big. The Cotford Department Center is adjacent to the Palladium, and this Palladium is 11 floors tall, spanning all the way from like below the basement all the way to up there. And as you guys can see, you could see some like upscale stores, just like at the Marina Bay Sands Shopping Center, as well as the Lafayette in Paris. Okay guys, over there is the exterior facade of the Palladium, and why not, I'm going to go to the Powder Tower to show you guys what it is all about. Okay guys, over here is the Powder Tower, one of the 13 original gates of Prague. As you guys can see, this is built in the Gothic style and construction started in 1475. I'm not joking. And this gate separates the old town from the new town, and in there is the old town. The funny thing is, despite the name, the Powder Tower does not hold any gunpowder, and it suffered considerable damage during the Battle of Prague. So why not, I'll show you guys what is in there. Yeah, that is the top of the gate. Over here is the other side of the gate, and as you guys can see, I'm currently in the old town now. Yes, the old town, and buildings do look slightly different. And as you guys can see, the Powder Gate connects with another building. This building is called Obecny Dum, and you could listen to classical music, opera and ballet. in this venue. As you guys can see, let me show you guys the other side. Now over here it is the Obecny Dome, and this building is extremely opulent, as you guys can see. And let me show you guys the interior. Okay guys, over here is the interior. I'm not sure if I would book any concerts or not, as I do have laundry to do, unfortunately. Okay guys, over here is the Obecny Dome, aka the municipal house, and tickets do cost 330 CZK for like one adult, so it is kind of expensive, but it is definitely an ornate building, and if you were to watch any classical concerts, I would think it's definitely worth like entering if you're planning to listen to classical music. But in short, this building was built somewhere around the 1910s, and it first opened in 1912. And this whole municipal house houses the Smetana Hall and replaces the Royal Palace of Prague, which was demolished in the early 20th century after it has been abandoned for a few hundred years. In fact, it has been abandoned since 1485. And fun fact, the old palace, which sits on the same site, was built in 1380 under the orders of King Wenceslas IV. The municipal house is a concert venue built in the Art Nouveau style, just like the Blue Church in Bratislava, Slovakia. And in 1918, the Czechoslovak Declaration of Independence was held here. Now very close by is the Charles University bookstore over here. Now Charles University is not only the oldest university in Prague, it is the oldest university in the Czech Republic. And fun fact, during the mid-1970s, my father studied public health at this university. The university was founded all the way back in 1347, making it one of the oldest universities in existence. And it is not only the oldest, it is the largest in the Czech Republic and the oldest university east of Paris. Okay guys, I'm now in the main square of the old town, and as you guys can see, even on a cloudy day, it will rain later today, as well as a cold day. There's still a ton of tourists. As you guys can see, imagine during the summer, it'll be packed here. Over here is the Jan Hus Memorial. This whole monument depicts victorious Hussite warriors and Protestants who were forced into exile 200 years after Hus in the wake of the lost battle of the White Mountain during the 30 Years' War, and a young mother who symbolizes national rebirth. The monument was so large that the sculptor had to build a villa just to walk on the monument, and this monument was unveiled in 1915, 500 years after Jan Hus's death in 1415. If you didn't know, Jan Hus was an influential religious thinker of the late 14th and early 15th century, as well as philosopher, and he ushered in the precursor to the Protestant movement. And due to the fact he was castigated for criticizing religious moral decay of the Catholic Church, he was branded a heretic and was burned to the stake in 1415. He believed that the Mass should be given in the local vernacular language rather than Latin. Now very close to the Jan Hus Memorial is this, which is the Marian column. It is a religious monument consisting of a column topped with a statue of Virgin Mary up there. It was originally erected in 1650 but was destroyed in 1918, coinciding with the collapse of Austria-Hungary, and it was subsequently rebuilt in 2020. Yes, I'm not joking. In 2020, during the pandemic, it was destroyed around the Spanish flu, but reconstructed during the coronavirus, COVID. Next door is the Church of Our Lady Before Tin. Over there is a Gothic church, and it has been the main church of the city since the 14th century. The two spires are 80 meters high. There are 6 bells, and each tower spire is topped by 8 smaller spires in 2 layers of 4. On the same site, a Romanesque church was built in the 11th century, and in 1256 that was replaced by an early Gothic church of Our Lady Before Tin. And adjacent to the Lady Before Tin church is this, which is the Gothic Palace, which is a Rococo palace, and today an art museum, having been constructed between 1755 and 1765, and it was originally built for the Gothic family. Unfortunately, I could not take pictures or record at the Church of Our Lady Before Tin, so I'm just going to go out And I'll show you guys two more buildings in the Old Town Square, including, you guessed it, the St. Nicholas's Church as well as the Astronomical Clock. And I'll show you guys some pictures because I visited the Astronomical Clock Tower 3 years ago. Now outside you can see the St. Nicholas's Church. There is another St. Nicholas's Church in Malastrana, which is on the other side of the Vltava River. But over here is the one in the Old Town. Now there was a church on this site also called St. Nicholas, built in the 13th century, but this building was built between 1732 and 1737 in a late Gothic and Baroque style. Now the whole building is 49 meters tall, and some time ago it was used as a Czechoslovak Orthodox church before being converted into Hussite church in 1920. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to record, but I'll show you guys maybe 1 or 2 images of this church. Over here is what you've all been waiting for, the Prague Astronomical Clock. This astronomical clock was built sometime in 1410, and it is the 3rd oldest astronomical clock and the oldest clock still in operation. There are 3 components: the astronomical dial representing the positions of the sun, moon and sky, and displaying various astronomical details, and the statues of various Catholic saints, as you guys can see, which stand on either side of the clock. And according to legend, the city would suffer if the clock is neglected or in jeopardy. And I do believe the Zeig clock in Bern, Switzerland is either the same age or slightly older than this astronomical clock. Now, due to the fact I visited this astronomical clock as well as the very top around 3 years ago, I'm just gonna show you guys some pictures. So why not on to 2022. Now the Prague Astronomical Clock is inside the Old Town Hall, and here's some landmarks. As you guys can see, the Powder Gate Tower, the Old Town Bridge Tower, which is next to the Colored Mosque, as well as this, which is the Petrin Lookout Tower. Now in the Old Town you would also find this, which is the Franz Kafka Memorial. Now he is a prolific Czech writer, and he lived only around 41 years, but as you guys can see, this is what it looks like. Unfortunately, the exhibition might be captivating to enter, but the reviews say otherwise, as I checked on Google Maps and it received 3-star reviews. Yes, most museums would receive at least 4 or even 5-star reviews. Over here is the Maisel Synagogue. Now this synagogue was built by Mordechai Maisel after he obtained privilege from Rudolph II to build this synagogue. This synagogue was first erected in 1590 in the Gothic revival style, and nearby is the Jewish Town Hall of Prague. If you were to walk several hundred more meters, you would find out the Jewish Town Hall over here, as well as the Old New Synagogue, aka Outer Neuschule, and being constructed in 1270. This is Europe's oldest surviving synagogue. Yes, the Dohany Street Synagogue is Europe's largest, and this is Europe's oldest. Not only is this the oldest active synagogue in all of Europe, in fact this is the oldest medieval synagogue of twin nave design and the oldest Gothic building in all of Prague. And the Jewish town hall was also built by Mordechai Maisel, just like the Maisel synagogue. This was first built in 1586 in the Renaissance style, and it is currently closed to the public, but as you guys can see, this is what the town hall looks like. Okay guys, over here is a statue of Franz Kafka. Now, as you guys know, he did die of tuberculosis, and over there is, I do believe, the Spanish synagogue. Now, as you guys guessed it, it is the Spanish synagogue, and it was first built in 1868 in the Moorish revival style, but in 1955 it has been dedicated as a Jewish museum, and tickets for the whole Jewish museum complex and the Jewish town would cost around 600 Czech krona. So unfortunately quite expensive, and there are no individual tickets, so you do have to buy the whole complex. But as you guys can see, this is a Reformed Jewish synagogue, and the previous one is an Orthodox Jewish synagogue. And over here it is, the Spanish synagogue. I'm not sure if I could get a clear view of the synagogue. I'm now heading closer and closer to the Karlov Mosque. Yes, the Karlov Mosque. And over here is the Rudolfinum. Now this building opened in 1885. It was built in a neo-Renaissance style, and it houses the Czech Philharmonic Orchestra as well as the Rudolfinum Gallery. And it is situated on Jan Palach Square over here. And over here is Jan Palach. 5 months after the Prague Spring, he protested by burning himself to death. I'm not even joking. He was 21 at the time, which means he could very well be alive to this day if he had not burned himself. Okay guys, I finally arrived at the Karlov Mosque over there, and I'm now standing next to the Clementinum Church. Okay guys, the chapel dedicated to Saint Clement existed since the 11th century AD, but the Clementinum is a complex of buildings, and it features the National Library of the Czech Republic. Let me show you guys. So I'm now pushing the door to go in, and in here you're greeted with a cathedral. And just like any Baroque church, this cathedral is quite ornate, but unfortunately this has been barricaded. But I could show you guys. As you guys can see, quite beautiful and immaculate. And why not, I'm just gonna go out. Okay guys, over there is the new VW ID bus, and here's some intriguing facts about the Clementinum complex. It features an astronomical tower as well as a college, or formerly, but it used to include a technical building as well. And a Dominican monastery used to be located here during the Middle Ages, but in 1420, because of the Hussite Wars, that was destroyed. In 1556, a Jesuit college opened here, and sometime in the 17th century, that merged with the Charles University. So hence, you do have the library of the Charles University in here some time ago. But why not? I'm gonna cross this street to go to the Karlov Mosque. I've now crossed the street, and this is what the Clementinum looks like. Unfortunately, there is no more banner saying "Hands Off Ukraine Putin." I remembered that banner 2 years ago and 3 years ago, but you can still see flags over here. As you guys know, the Russia-Ukraine war is tumultuous and has caused tons of casualties and has destroyed entire cities, including Mariupol, Kherson, as well as several others. And it plunged Ukraine into the poorest country in all of Europe. It used to be Moldova, which was the poorest country in Europe prior to the Russian invasion. Now next to the Karlov Mosque is the statue of King Charles IV of Bohemia. As you guys know, during the Middle Ages and even during the early modern era, the Czech Republic used to be divided into three subsections: Bohemia, Moravia, as well as Lower Sicilia. And as you guys know, Prague is the capital of Bohemia. Brno is the capital of Moravia, the second largest city in the Czech Republic. And Ostrava, which is the third largest city in the Czech Republic, is the capital of Lower Sicilia. And over there is King Charles IV, who gave his name to this bridge. Yes, the Karlov Mosque, aka the Charles Bridge. Unfortunately, due to the inclement weather, there are not so many people on the bridge, and many people are now taking cover, as you guys can see. And typically this bridge will be extremely crowded. After several debilitating steps, I finally arrived at the second floor, and this is what the room looks like. Okay guys, I finally arrived at the third floor, and 3 years ago the second floor used to have some exhibitions, but now the second floor is barren, and I paid 190 Czech koruna, aka $8.22. Now for students it will cost 130, And as you guys can see, over there is the Call of Mosque. And there are a lot more people now than before, but it is still kind of a bit scattered, as you guys can see. And over there is the Petrin Lookout Tower. Over there is the Pratsky Hrad complex. And over there is the San Vitus Cathedral. You might not see the Tansisi Dome, but if you were to go really far out there, that is the Vyšehrad. I'm not even joking. Yes, a small Vyšehrad. And over there is the National Theatre of Prague. And somewhere around the vicinity is the Old Town Water Tower. Unfortunately, you would have to duck your head just because of the height. So I'm now ducking, and over here is the San Salvator's Church. Yes, part of the Clementinum, and this was built between the 16th and 17th century by anonymous people. Over there is the Astronomical Clock, and over there, a bit further, is the Church of Our Lady Tin. Over there is the St. Nicholas's Church, and a bit further out, you would see the Zhikov television tower over there. Over there specifically is the Church of San Francis of Assisi. And over there is the Rudolfinum Music Hall. Okay guys, here are some fun facts about the Charles Bridge. Now the bridge preceding the Charles Bridge was a Judith Bridge from the 12th century, built between 1158 and 1172, which was severely damaged by a flood in 1342. Charles IV then ordered the construction of the bridge in 1357, and when it finished in the early 15th century, it was called the Stone Bridge or the Prague Bridge, aka Pražský most. Only since 1870 was it called the Charles Bridge in honor of Charles IV. It is 560 meters long, and it was designed by Peter Poller and made of Bohemian sandstone. It crosses the river Vltava, and it was the only means of crossing until 1841 between Malá over there, which is the lesser town, and the old town, which is where I'm currently at. It is nearly 10 meters wide, and there are 30 Baroque style statues and statuettes erected sometime around 1700. The bridge tower, of which I'm currently on, was constructed around the same time and is built in the Gothic style. Okay guys, unfortunately I do have to be cautious, as yeah, I just try to hold the handrails like this, and yeah, and here, and then go down like this, and it is extremely steep. Okay guys, I finally found the location for the exhibition. It is in the first floor. I remembered wrong, and as you guys can see over here, some of the components of the Charles Bridge. Yes, including the statue of Charles IV, the passageway, the pointed arch decorated with 28 crockets and a pinnacle, as well as some more. And as you guys can see, this is what the tower looks like. And the Charles Bridge towers were part of the city fortification. On the eastern facade, a massive sliding portcullis closed the Old Town Bridge Tower gate. Stone groups which have remained in the gateway give evidence of its existence. Such mechanisms had power counterweights for easier manipulation. Unfortunately, much of the basement is closed, but you could watch a cartoon down in the basement about the construction of the Moldau Bridge. What I meant was the Charles Bridge crossed through the river Vltava, aka Moldau in German. Now before I cross through the Moldau River, why not let me show you guys this, which is the Church of San Francis of Assisi, and over here is the interior of the church. Okay guys, I'm now crossing the half a kilometer long Call of Mosque over here. As you guys can see, these are some Baroque statues and statuettes, and I'm now on my way to Malá. So see you guys when I arrive in Malá. Okay guys, I finally crossed to the Malá over here. Yes, as you guys can see, that is what the Malá looks like. I've made it to the end. Over here is the Lesser Town Bridge Tower, aka the Malá Bridge Tower, and I'm finally in Malá over here. Now over here is the Lesser Town Bridge Tower, and this tower is 45 meters high, and because it was built in 1454, it is the youngest part of the Charles Bridge. And over here it is, Malá. As you guys can see, still quite ornate, just like the old town. Now next to the Charles Bridge you would find out a historical anomaly, the John Lennon Wall. I'm not even joking. It is located in the Malstrana part of the Charles Bridge. Okay guys, over here are some of the embassies for various countries, and this is where the aberration from antiquity starts. As you guys can see, over there is the Lennon's Wall. And I saw yet another unicorn. Yes, a car from Utah, specifically a Honda Accord, complete with yellow reflector lights. And over here it is, the Lennon Wall, the aberration from antiquity. As you guys can see, after the assassination of John Lennon, a mural depicting John Lennon was erected here in 1980, and until 2019 the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, yes, that Malta, not the Republic of Malta, does allow graffiti, but nowadays this is what the whole wall looks like. And if you don't know, there are actually several buildings, and fun fact, the Sovereign Military Order of Malta is a sovereign country. Yes, a sovereign country. It actually has a currency, the Maltese scudo, and no, it is not the Republic of Malta. The Republic of Malta uses the euro. Now over here where demonstrations took place during communist Czechoslovakia, and communism then crumbled like 9 years later in 1989. I'm not sure who it is because this is kind of illegible, but over there is Putin and over there is Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany. And as you guys can see, it has been fully painted, just unintelligible gibberish in some areas, but still this is considered street art. I'm kind of debating on whether or not this is Merkel or Trump. Over here is the aptly named Beethoven Palace with the carving of him etched up there. Okay guys, as you guys can see, over there is the St. Nicholas's Church of Malstrana. I'm not even joking. There are two St. Nicholas's Church in Prague. Now this church is built in the Baroque style. It was constructed between 1704 and 1755, and it replaced a 13th century church under the same name in the Gothic style. And this building is quite big. In fact, the spire reaches a height of 79 meters, and the whole complex reaches a height of 49 meters. Now over here is the Waldstein Palace and Garden, and unfortunately it is closed for the season, and it'll be another 6 days until it is open. And it is kind of unlucky, kind of poor timing, that not only did I go during the rain, but I don't get to go to this palace over here. But fun fact, it houses the Senate of the Czech Republic, and it was first constructed in 1623, and it housed the General Albrecht von Waldstein. And why not, I'm going to go to the Pražský hrad. Now the whole garden is 14,000 square meters big, the second largest only after the Prague Castle Gardens. Now, due to the fact I'm slightly hungry, therefore I'm going to eat at the Ely over here, like a really small meal. And over here is the Malstrana neighborhood. I'm now on my way to the Pražský hrad, aka the Prague Castle. I paid 89 koruna, aka $4 for a set of fries. I'll show you guys. Over here it is the palm frites I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna see you guys soon. I just finished eating, and after at least 100 debilitating steps, I finally arrived at the Pražský hrad over here. Now I'm gonna enter and show you guys what is inside the palace. And up here you could see a scenic view of Prague. Unfortunately, this is kind of barricaded, so the view is sort of obstructed. But as you guys can see, it is extremely scenic. You could even see the Church of Our Lady before Tin over there, and you could sort of see the Astronomical Clock as well. And over there is the Karlov Most. Now over here is a map of the whole castle complex. As you guys can see, from the St. Vitus Cathedral all the way to several of the palaces, as well as the garden. After some bit more walking, I finally arrived at the St. Vitus Cathedral over here. Okay guys, I'm inside the St. Vitus Cathedral. Now I'm going to go up the stairs Over here. After 287 debilitating steps, I finally got up to the top of the St. Vitus Cathedral. I've nearly collapsed. I've done the same in Berlin 3 years ago, where I climbed 270 something steps to get up to the top of the dome of the Berlin Cathedral. Okay guys, let me talk you through the castle and cathedral, as the St. Vitus Cathedral's full name is the Metropolitan Cathedrals of St. Vitus, Wenceslaus and Adalbert, and this is the seat of the Archbishop of Prague, and prior to 1997 it was only dedicated to St. Vitus. It was founded in 930 AD as a Romanesque church by Duke Wenceslaus I of Bohemia, but the current church was built in 1344 in a Gothic style and consecrated in 1929. Similar to the Karlov Most, Peter Paller was the architect, and it is the biggest church in the Czech Republic. It contains the tombs of many Bohemian kings and Holy Roman emperors. There's 7 bells, and it reaches a height of over 100 meters tall. The Prague Castle, on the other hand, is the official residence and workplace of the Czech president, and when it was built in the 9th century, the castle served as a seat of powers for the kings of Bohemia, the Holy Roman emperors, and the presidents of Czechoslovakia. The Bohemian crown jewels are kept within a hidden room inside the castle, and it is the largest ancient castle in the world, occupying an area of 70,000 square meters, aka about 570 meters long and 130 meters wide. Okay guys, over here is the skyline view of Prague. As you guys can see, down there is the St. George's Basilica, which is reminiscent of the Church of the Annunciation at Presenov Square in Ljubljana, Slovenia. And over there is the Lobkowicz Palace. And as you guys can see, this is the whole castle complex. Really, really big, to be honest. And if you could see, over there is the Prague Castle Riding School, and over there is the garden. And let me show you guys some more of it, because the castle is extremely big. It's quite colossal, to be honest. And here's some more, just some plain old buildings. And down there is the old royal palace, which spans all the way here. Yes, down there is even more of the old royal palace. Over there is a Petrin-looking tower. And let me show you guys the St. Nicholas's Cathedral in Malstrana. And over there is the Karlov Mosque. And you could also find out the Church of Our Lady Before Tin, as well as several other landmarks. So it is a quite scenic view, but you don't really see the Karlov Mosque from the angle of the old town, but rather from the lesser town. Okay guys, over here is a clearer view of the old royal palace. I'm kind of curious if there are separate tickets to enter the St. Vitus Cathedral. I'll find out. Unfortunately, I could not really find an entrance door into the St. Vitus Cathedral, but over there is a symbol of capitalism, Starbucks. Yes, there's a Starbucks in the Pražský hrad, kind of like Banner Hills, but I do believe the Pražský hrad is far more authentic than Banner Hills. Banner Hills is more like Disney World, in my opinion, in Da Nang in Vietnam. Okay guys, it's only 15 minutes remaining until the Lobkowicz Palace closes, but let me show you guys this, which are the members of the Lobkowicz family. And as you guys can see, these two people are dead, and this guy is dead, but I'm not sure about this lady, if she's dead or not. And over here are the current Lobkowicz members. Okay guys, here is room 1, and as you guys can see, over there is Philip II of Spain. He married his niece, who happened to also be his cousin as well, and her name is Archduchess Anne of Austria, and they have a child called King Philip III of Spain. And as you guys know, inbreeding is quite common in royal families. And over here is the progenitor of the Lobkowicz clan, this guy, Jacob Seizinger. He was the High Chancellor of the Kingdom of Bohemia between 1566 and 1582. And over here are some of the members of the Lobkowicz clan, as you guys can see. Okay guys, over here is the family tree of the Lobkowicz family. And this lady, Polishina Pernstein, later Romberg and then Lobkowicz, was the person who made the Lobkowicz family prominent. Over here is the 1618 riot between the Protestants and, of course, the Catholic ruled Habsburg. And fun fact, over there is Rudolf II. Due to the fact he loved to be kept alone, therefore his rule could be viewed as quote-unquote precarious, but he moved the capital of the Habsburg dynasty from Vienna to Prague. Over here you could see the pottery of the kings, and as you guys can see, even 450 to 500 years ago, the kings ate very lavishly. As you guys can see, these are the plates, and many of the peasants and proletariat, guess what? They eat using wooden dishes. I'm not even joking. Over here is the treasury room, and as you guys can see, over here are some religious artifacts, and I do believe these are chests of some sort, but I'm not too sure. And over here is a head bust of somebody. Well, this somebody is, I do believe, Saint Barbara. Over here is the armory room, and as you guys can see, this is Vlacava Uspios, the second prince of Lobkowicz over here. And he was a distinguished general, having had some regiments for himself. And the Lobkowicz does have a vast gun collection over here, as you guys can see. And here's some more artillery. And if you go to this room, this is the Baroque music room. Over here is the Baroque exhibition, and fun fact, the Lobkowicz family, just like every royal family, have an affinity for classical music, and they would visit far and wide through Italy, Spain, France, and even some of the Low Countries to actually borrow some new copies of classical music. Over here are some instruments, and fun fact, Gluck, who was a Baroque classical composer, was actually the son of a Lobkowicz service. And over here are some violins. And this over here is the Beethoven room, where you would also find out Mozart as well as Haydn over there, and even more violins. And over there is Ludwig himself. Now this room is the Crow room, and the reason why it is called the Crow room is because all of the paintings here were painted by Carl Robert Crow over here. As you guys can see, some of these are landscapes and some of these are paintings of the castle itself. And over there is a piano, and of course, just like all royal families, the Lobkowicz family does have an affinity for arts. Over here are some paintings of various female figures in the Lobkowicz family. And over here is just a room of birds, yes, just all bird paintings. And I'm not even joking, these are made of real feather over here. Over here is the dog room, yes, depicting various dogs. I'm not even joking. And over here is the Prince Moritz room, depicting more modern leaders. As you guys can see, this guy, Sigismund Lalimont, died somewhere around 1910. And many of these people are from the 19th century. I'm not even joking, with some living all the way up to the 20th century. And this person over here lived up to 1938. And over here is the music room, yeah. And it is nothing like music here. Over here is the massive concert hall where you would listen to classical music. And over there is the family chapel. Yes, I'll show you guys, and I do have to go because it is closing. But as you guys can see, this is the family chapel, and I'll see you guys outside. Okay guys, one of the very last attractions I'm going to visit is the Letna Park. And as you guys can see, it is quite colossal. In fact, it has been in use since the Middle Ages, when the military opened several encampments in this area due to its strategic location. But until the 19th century, it was mainly vineyard and gardens. And then afterwards, it started to become colonized. Fun fact, in 1955, there was a statue of Joseph Stalin. But in 1962, that was removed, and the Prague Metrodome now replaced the statue of Joseph Stalin. Fun fact, Letna used to be called summer camp or a place to sunbathe. Now as for the Letna Park itself, it is built on a plateau steep above the Vltava River, and you could actually see Prague's old town from here. During the Velvet Revolution, and the plain next to the Letna Park was home to one of the biggest demonstrations. In fact, 750,000 people gathered at the end of 1989 for the demonstration against the communist regime, and Czechoslovakia's communist regime ended up being toppled around the same time. You might think this is an Orthodox church, but in reality this is the Hanoi Pavilion, which was built in the neo-Baroque style for the 1891 Jubilee. Okay guys, over there is the view of Prague. As you guys can see, quite beautiful, to be honest. You can see the Church of Our Lady before Tin, as well as the Astronomical Clock, sort of. And over there is the Call of Most. And as you guys can see, it is quite scenic from up here. But why not, I'm just gonna go down now. Okay guys, I'm now downhill, and why not, I'm just going to go uphill once again. Okay guys, over there is a Prague metronome, formerly the Joseph Stalin statue. As you guys can see, it is still under construction, so why not, I'm just gonna go down. Okay guys, I'm currently crossing the road and I saw a peculiarity. Over there is the Fisker Ocean. I'm not even joking, a Fisker. Okay guys, I just returned to the old town. Over here is Shalin. Over there is Bulgari. And over there is Rolex. I do believe this is the luxury corner because I do see a Cullinan. Yes, I'm not even joking, a Rolls Royce Cullinan. I even somehow saw a UPS truck. And over there are several luxury cars. Here you even see Gucci as well as Alo. And I'm not even joking, just one block away I saw another Rolls Royce. I do believe this is the Ghost here. And I saw Bentley Bentayga as well. Okay guys, I'm now walking to the streetcar to get to the hotel so I could do the laundry, unfortunately. Okay guys, over here is streetcar 26. I'm gonna take this, and as you guys can see, this is an older streetcar, but I'm now going to go in. But luckily it does accept contactless payments over here. Okay guys, one landmark close to my hotel is the Zhiskov television tower. It was built between 1985 and 1992, and it is 216 meters tall. This over here is an example of high-tech architecture, and as you guys can see, over there is a modernist apartment. Okay guys, it took me an hour to find the correct laundry, and I had to go all the way to the old town to get the laundry. As you guys see, I'm at the Vibratati, and I did have to exchange euros from Czech koruna, and then I had to exchange that for coins because the coin machine does not work, unfortunately, which is kind of ironic. So why not, I'm just gonna eat at a restaurant. Okay guys, due to the fact this restaurant is very close to laundry, therefore I'm gonna eat at Pilsneka Narodny over here. Okay guys, over here is my beef goulash. I paid 295 Czech koruna, and I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to see you guys at the laundry. Okay guys, I just returned to the hotel, and here are some attractions I've missed. The Waldstein Garden, unfortunately it is temporarily closed for the season. The Obecny Dom. Even though I went into the lobby, I figured out I would not go to the tour because I would rather go to other places, so I skipped that. The inside of the Astronomical Clock. Well, if you remember, I visited the attraction 3 years ago, and if you were to backtrack a few minutes, you would actually see a clip of the Astronomical Clock, which includes the Old Town Hall inside. The inside of the Powder House Tower, it is quite redundant, because I could go to the, you guessed it, the Old Bridge Tower, and I definitely did not visit the Lesser Bridge Tower at the other side of the Call Most. Unfortunately, I also did not visit the Strahov Monastery. I did not know about the place, as well as the Petrin Tower, because it is kind of a bit far, and plus I would see better views in, like, say the Old Tower in the Call of Moss, or the Praski Hrad, San Vitus Cathedral. And here's some attractions I've not visited this year, but have visited 2 years ago. If you want to check out that vlog, the TTTM Sapa, the Vizihrad, the Tansisi Dum, and the Narodny Museum. But anyways, I'm gonna show you guys some pictures and describe to you guys what it is all about. Okay guys, here's some information about the TTTM Sapa. It is the largest Vietnamese enclave in the Czech Republic. It is located in Libus, and it was created in the area of a former poultry farm around 2000, and it is often referred to as a city within a city. And the Vietnamese are the third largest ethnic group in the Czech Republic, only after Ukrainians and Slovaks. And Sapa is named after the town of Sapa in northern Vietnam, which is a charming tourist destination. I recommend you guys visit Sapa if you were to visit Vietnam. And you would find several different shops as well as restaurants. I ate the Pho Nam Dinh, where I ate the Pho Thailand as well as the Nem Zan. And the area is 35 hectares and several thousand people walk in the TTTM Sapa. As for the Vyšehrad, it is a historic fort in Prague, just 3 kilometers southeast of the Prague Castle, on the east bank of the Vltava River, and it was built somewhere around the 10th century. And inside, you could see the Basilica of St. Peter and St. Paul, and the Vyšehrad Cemetery, which contains the remains of Antonin Dvořák, Bedřich Smetana, as well as several others, including some more recent deaths. And it includes a statue of one of the kings of Bohemia. And the Danzig's house, you've been waiting for this one. It was designed by the Croatian-Czech architect Vlado Milunik in cooperation with Frank Gehry. Yes, the guy who created the MIT Starter Center in Cambridge. And the building completed in 1996. And prior to the end of World War II, because of US bombing, there used to be a property of great significance. Inside you'll find a restaurant, and if you were to buy a drink like say Red Bull, you get free admission to the very top, where you could see the whole city, including the Petrin Look-Up Tower, as well as several others, including the Charles Bridge and stuff. It is quite scenic from up there. I recommend you guys visit. And lastly, we have the National Museum, aka Národní Museum, which is a public museum dedicated to natural, scientific and historical collections of the Czech Republic. You could find several different exhibitions, including the First Lady exhibition, as well as Czechoslovak history exhibition, communist exhibition, EU exhibition, as well as natural science exhibition, where you would see several animals. And the museum was founded in 1818 by Caspar Maria Sternberg. And fun fact, the historian František Palaci was also strongly involved in the foundation of the museum, and the National Museum houses nearly 40 million items. I recommend you guys visit it, and it is located on Wenceslas Square in the very center of Prague, next to the Kladní Dráhy, aka the central train station, and it is built in a neo-Renaissance style in 1891. Okay guys, is Prague worth it? In my opinion, definitely yes. Even though some goods are quite expensive, in fact, I do believe with the architecture as well as the sheer amount of amenities, I do think this city is very much worth visiting. There's a ton of history, and there are tons of nice people and good food. And this hotel only costed me $40 a night. Yes, I paid $80 for 2 nights for this Residence Table Hotel. Let me show you guys. As you guys can see, that is how much I paid for the whole hotel for 2 nights. But typically a reasonable 3-star hotel in Prague would cost around $75 to $100, putting it on a high scale. But in reality, there are tons of attractions, and this city does have a high standard of living, so I do believe the costs are justified. But you could get hotels for as low as $55, like say Ibis or even Ibis budget. But in reality, only Ibis is available. But as you guys can see, over here are some of the hotels. Yes, these are some of the prices, specifically for Accor. And as for food, you could get a modest meal for around 5 to 10 euros and a reasonable meal for around 10 to 20 euros, putting Prague kind of in the middle, in the upper middle category in terms of price. And smaller museums like the Bridge Tower would range between 5 to 10 euros, whilst the bigger attractions would range between 15 and 20 euros, making the price quite reasonable. And if you're students, then it is even more reasonable. And with the sheer amount of history as well as significance with the city, instead of having obscure figures like in Budva, for example, I think Prague is definitely worth visiting even if it's very overrated and very, very overcrowded and overvisited these days compared to, like, say, the 90s when the city was a bit more quote-unquote underrated. So thank you guys for watching. Please give a big thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys soon.